Hi friends, in our previous video we discussed about how to consume a incoming request into our controller. So this is a controller we have used in our previous video. So here, so for this controller I am sending a JSON request as an input. So how your controller will read that JSON? So for that we are going to use request body, so which binds your incoming request to your Pojo class. So this is a request I am sending from, so either you can use Postman or REST client. So here I am using REST client. So from here I am posting the data. So how I am posting the data? As a JSON. So now the request will comes to my controller, and in the controller, so the data will be binded to this Pojo class, and I am trying to read the data from that Pojo class. So these things we discussed in our last example. See, so I have binded the incoming request JSON to my model class, means a class which will contains private variables and public methods. Pojo class or a bean class or a model class, you can call it. So now, so how to access this service? So this is one service, right? So how to access this service? So for that I'm going to use http. So application is running at localhost colon your port number 8080 and the path emp. So by this I can able to access this service. So what method I am using? So I am here, I am posting the data. So here I am posting the data. Posting the data. So that's why I am using post method. So this is a so post. Now, so we are posting the data to the controller, and in the controller we are binding the incoming JSON to my model class, and here I am printing the data. I am trying to print the data. So whatever the values I am passing from my JSON, so those values I am reading here. So see, here I am passing these values, and here I am reading that. Let me go to my model class. So in the model class, see, here I am having, so employee ID will be mapped to employee ID, and employee name will be mapped to employee name, employee address will be mapped to employee address. So let me run my application. Spring Boot application. Okay. See, my if I maximize my console, so the application got started at port number 8080. So now to invoke that application, so this is a service which provides a service. So some consumer has to be there who can access your application, or you can test the application. So I'm using Postman as my consumer. So consumer to consume the service. So HTTP, it is running at localhost. HTTP port number is 8080. So the path is EMP. So now, so we are posting the data. So this is the data I am posting. Let me select. So here, post. If I send this, say 415. So 415 means what is the issue? So unsupported media type. Because here, if you look at the controller, so if you won't specify any media type, so if you look into this comma, not here, not here. So here in the post mapping. So if you go to here, see here you need to specify consume and produce. So what type of request it's going to consume. So but I didn't specify anything. So consume. So up. So if your application, so your application name expecting and that JSON. So this is a input your web service is expecting. So you can give multiple also. It will take. So if you leave, so if you won't, if here I have not given any consumption type. So what data type of data it's going to consume. So if you won't give anything, by default it takes as a JSON. So see why you are getting this issue means. So let me go to here. Here, see, it is expecting JSON data. So here, if you won't specify a consume type, so by default it will be JSON. So nowadays all communications are going to happen over JSON only. So if you give also, no problem. If you don't give also consume type, so by default it's a application.json. So your web service is expecting JSON data, but here from the REST client, we are not specifying that data type. That's why we are getting. So go to here, specify that, send. Okay. So if you look into this, I'm not writing anything. Simply I'm printing the data. So now the data is came to controller. So you can pass any data now. Dynamically you can pass the data. So now employee ID now 1 or 2. Employee name Raj. So somewhere. Just send. See, if you look into this, so see, it is okay dynamically, it's ready. So if you look into our model, see, so if you look into our model class, see the attributes are in this way. So these are Java class attributes. See, emp ID, emp name, address. So is this mandatory to have the same sequence? First emp name. Let me change this. So comma. Sorry. Comma. Let's see. See now here in the Pojo class, employee address is last attribute, but when it comes to JSON, it's a first attribute. So is the order is important? Do we need to have the same order as your Pojo class and your JSON? No, no need. Let's see. Go to Postman. Now I am changing the order. See, first I have added employee address. Let's see. Let me go to here and clear my console. Now order is employee ID, employee name, and employee address in my Pojo class. But when it comes to my JSON, I am first sending employee address, after that employee ID and employee name. Let's see. So bad request. So what's the issue? Yeah, my JSON is not. See, if you look at this, JSON is not proper format. Let me select. See, previously here I have added one comma. So your JSON is not well formatted. That's why you are getting. So if you are writing JSON, last attribute should not contain any comma. Okay. So I have given that one. That's why your JSON is not well formatted. So that's why we got 400 bad requests. Now I remove that. So now see. So no error. So let me go to here. See, it's read the value. So the order is not important. First thing is the order is not at all important. So see, my Pojo class order is employee ID, employee name, employee address. But when it comes to my JSON, incoming JSON, sorry. See, first is employee address is there. After that, employee name is there. After that, employee name. Okay, remove this last. So it's no. So this is my JSON. So now here I need to add and here. So now send it. See, no issues. So if you look into this, so the order of your push class attributes need not be same with order of your JSON. Then also the request will work. See, there the order is different. They are also having three attributes. Here also we are having three attributes, but the order is different. Then no issues at all. So assume here I am not passing any value. Then what will happen? Let's see. Okay. So bad request. Why you are getting bad request? Employee ID. I'm not passing anything. 1 second. Employee ID. So let me check whether it's a well formatted or not. So how to do that? Validate JSON. Here test whether your JSON is well formatted or not. So JSON itself having some issue. Employee ID. So let's give it. So now my JSON is validated. So now go to here. So see, now my JSON is validated. So it's according to the JSON standards. Now, here I am not passing any value employee ID. So what will happen? So go to here, send. See, if you go to here, see, employee ID is an integer. So it's printed zero value because I'm not passing employee ID. Now let me go to here and remove this except. So this is my last value. So now, so here my Pujo class is expecting three parameters, means sorry, three attributes, but I am passing two attributes only. Let me say what will happen. Okay. So the value which is not given will be printed as zero because it's an integer. If it's a string, it will print null value. Let's see that. So now I'm not passing the name also. My Pujo class is expecting three parameters, three attributes, but I'm passing only one attribute from my JSON. See what will happen? Let me go to here. See, for integer, if you are not passing, so zero. For string, null. Anyway, I pass the city. Now, here employee ID is there, employee name is there, employee address is there. But I am passing one more extra attribute which is not presented in my Pujo class. So, comma state state state. I am passing teacher. So now, so yes, it's JSON is proper valid. So here I am using semicolon. Here I am not using. Sorry, here I am using comma. Here last attribute should not contain any comma. Now send it. So now see. Then also you won't get any issue because see, even though if you are passing this value, if you look into your Pujo class, there is no attribute like state. That's why it's unable to read. So if you look into this, the order is not important. So, so the JSON and your Pojo class need not be in the same order. If they are in the same order, no problem. If they are not in the same order also, no problem. And if you are not, so your Pojo class is expecting these three attributes. So if you are passing only one attribute from your JSON, so the remaining values for string it will take null, and for address it will take null. For integer, if you are not passing, then it will take as a 0. If you are passing extra attribute from your Pojo, means from your JSON, so assume my Pojo class is ready to read only three values, means three property attributes, but my JSON is providing four attributes. So what will happen? So the Pojo class will read the matching properties only. It won't read. See, in this scenario, I am passing state, but if I come to my Pojo class, there is no attribute like state, so that's why it's not reading. So this is about how to pass data dynamically to your control, means to your controller as a JSON format. So in the controller, we are mapping to Pojo class by using request bar. So hope this is clear. Thank you.